They liked you better when you were quiet, software harmless, confused. That's the version of you that made them feel superior. That timid smile you wore like a mask, the way you tiptoed around their egos, the way you apologized for simply existing. That was the version they could control. You see, they wanted you weak. Not out of concern, not out of love, but because your weakness ensured their dominance. Your silence was their comfort, your compliance, their security. The moment you started to speak with conviction, the moment your eyes stopped begging for validation and started burning with clarity, that's when they flinched. That's when they felt it. The shift, the crack in the illusion they had of you. You were never weak. You were dormant. And now you've been seen. They underestimated you because you were quiet when you were observing. You were healing, plotting, thinking. While they danced in circles, basking in your supposed powerlessness, you were becoming something they never expected. A storm. You didn't scream to be heard. You didn't beg to be understood. You just endured. Quiet suffering has a way of forging unshakable resilience. They couldn't hear the fire growing inside you. They thought you were weak because you didn't retaliate. They confused patience with submission, mercy with meekness. But what they failed to realize is that the most dangerous creature in the room isn't the one shouting. It's the one who smiles while sharpening its mind. You see, weakness was never in your bones. It was a role you played so well, they believed it. Maybe even you believed it for a time. But that's over. That mask, it cracked. That version of you, dead. What stands in its place now is something they can't manipulate. Someone they can't predict. And that's what terrifies them. They thought you were their puppet. A background character in their little theater of control. But now the strings are cut, and the puppet has eyes of its own. Now you move with purpose. Now you walk without seeking permission. And now, they want nothing more than to drag you back into that cage. Because if you stay strong, they can't feed off you anymore. The world has this sick obsession with trying to tame the strong. Especially when the strong come from silence. They celebrate you when you're broken, patting your back, feeding you empty comfort. But the moment you start rebuilding yourself, they turn cold. Why? Because your glow threatens their shadows. Your strength makes their excuses tremble. Your refusal to stay down exposes how comfortable they've become with mediocrity. They wanted you to stay weak because it gave them an audience, a reflection that made their cowardice seem noble. But now that you've stopped clapping for their lies, now that you've outgrown the cage, they hate you for it. They don't know what to do with the version of you that doesn't need them. The version that doesn't seek approval, doesn't conform, doesn't apologize for taking up space. That version is dangerous. That version ruins their game. Because once you stop needing permission to be powerful, you become untouchable. You become chaos to their order. And that's what you are now. Chaos. A storm with eyes wide open and no leash around your neck. You don't bow. You don't break. You don't wait for the green light. And oh, how that shakes them. They used to mock your silence. Now they're haunted by it. They used to laugh at your pain. Now they flinch at your presence. Let them choke on the silence they once demanded. Let them sit in the emptiness they carved for you. You're not coming back. You're not shrinking again to make them feel tall. You're not dimming your fire for their fragile eyes. You gave them the soft version, the forgiving version, the version that cried, that pleaded, that hoped. But they turned that version into ash. And now they get to meet what rose from the ashes. They don't get your tears anymore. They get your absence. They don't get your trust. They get your indifference. They wanted you weak because your weakness validated their power. But now you hold the mirror to their faces, and they can't stand what they see. This world feeds on dependency, on leashes, on quiet compliance. But you've severed the leash. and you've stopped waiting to be chosen. That's the real power. When you stop needing to be accepted and start being unapologetically real. No more hiding your scars. No more sugarcoating your thoughts. No more shrinking to fit someone's comfort zone. Because you're not meant to be palatable. You're not here to be liked. You're not here to make them feel okay with their delusions. You're here to wake them up or walk away so they can rot in the fantasy they've built without you. Either way, you win. Either way, you're free. They'll call you cold. They'll say you've changed, that you've become difficult. Good. You should be difficult. You should be unapproachable to anyone who thought they could manipulate you. You should be intimidating to those who benefited from your silence. Growth looks like arrogance to those who can't control you anymore. Keep growing. Keep pushing. Keep becoming the version of yourself that terrifies the ones who once thought they owned you. You don't owe them explanations. You don't owe them softness. You gave them the best of you when you had nothing, and they spit on it. Now they can watch from a distance, in silence, in envy, in regret. And here's the twist they never expected. Your strength was never about revenge. You're not doing this to prove anything to them. You're not building a life to throw in their faces. No, that's too small, too petty. Your strength is not reaction, it's rebirth. This is about you reclaiming your narrative. This is about you remembering that the fire in your soul doesn't need an audience to burn. Let them talk, let them speculate, let them stew in confusion, wondering how you became so untouchable. That's part of the beauty. Becoming a mystery to those who thought they had you figured out. You don't owe anyone closure. Some doors are better left slammed shut. They saw you as weak because you were healing. They mocked your stillness because they didn't understand the storm brewing beneath it. But now the storm is here, and it doesn't knock, it kicks the door down. Let them watch, let them flinch, let them tremble in the shadow of your transformation. Because now they see it, the fire, the clarity, the control, and they hate it. Not because you're wrong, but because you're finally right. You became the version of yourself that no longer fits their narrative. You broke the mold they poured you into. And now, you're dangerous, because you're free. This is the era of your silence turning into strength, your pain turning into purpose, your solitude turning into armor. Every betrayal, every insult, every moment they tried to clip your wings, it all led to this. They wanted to tame the wolf. Now they realize they raised a beast, and it's too late to put it back in the cage. You don't bark anymore. You walk in silence, and the ground shifts beneath you. You don't beg, you build. You don't chase, you attract. That's the power they feared, and now it's too real to ignore. You were never weak, you were just waiting. And now that they've seen it, they'll never unsee it.